Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be telling you all of my favorite ways to use Canva. If you're not familiar with Canva, Canva is an absolutely incredible tool to use for graphic design, for your online business, online selling, and so much more. So I'm going to be going over my 30 best tips and tricks to use Canva in this video today. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mac. I talk about e-commerce, passive income, and different ways to make money online. And if that interests you, I would love to have you a part of this channel. So make sure that you subscribe and leave a comment or like on this video. I am going to be going over the top 10 of my favorite features Canva has, the top 10 of the best design tools and elements to use, and the top 10 searches in elements to get the best elements for your graphics, especially if you're doing print on demand. So I just want to mention before we get into the video that I am going to be using Canva Pro. Canva Pro is the paid version of Canva, but it is a very good investment, especially if you have an online business and are going to be using Canva all the time. I do have a link in the description for you below where you can get your first 30 days free using Canva Pro. See if you like it, see if it's worth it for you and what you do. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen with you and show you all of these crazy 30 features. So now that we have Canva up, I'm going to show you the first feature, which is the brand kit. So on the home screen here, if your sidebar is not popping up, you'd select those three lines in the corner, and down here we can go to brand kit. Now here we are able to select all of the colors that we use in our brand, all of the fonts that we use, and you're even able to upload your logo. This is really great because when you're creating, this will all pop up on the sideboard so that you're able to just quickly select different colors that you use for your brand. You're able to insert your logo and different fonts. The next thing is the Canva alignment tools. So how you would use this is you would just select whatever image you are using or text you're using, go up to the three dotted lines and hit position, and then you're able to move whatever design you're using to the top, the right, center, middle. You get the point all over the page. There's also a feature called tidy up. So if you have multiple things on the page, it'll tidy up all of them, align them correctly, and make it all work together. So the next tool is the Canva background remover. So over here, I'm just going to select a photo that Canva has for us and show you how it works. I'm gonna try to use something with maybe less of a background. So we're gonna select this image, we're going to hit edit image and select background remover. And it's going to completely remove this background so that we can take the image and use it however we like. So my next tip is to utilize Canva templates. This is super important because Canva gives you so many tools and so much inspiration with these templates. As you know, if you watched my last video, that you cannot take a template, not edit it, and sell it. You will have to create your own. However, they're absolutely great when you're creating a logo or you need a mock-up, and there's so many different things that you can do with the templates. So how you would get this template is go up to create a design and whatever you are trying to create. So I'm just going to go and select planner for this example, and then you will see all of the planner templates that come up immediately on the Canva website, which is awesome. So let's say we want to select this one. It'll pop up for us, and then we are able to edit it however we like. We can change the font and just kind of make it our own here. But you can really use so many different templates for so many different things. The next thing is using the resize tool. So I wish I knew this sooner because right up here by file, there is a resize button, and this will instantly resize whatever you are creating with one click to exact size that you need. Whether you already know the dimensions you need or you need to search for a specific template. So I'm gonna select Facebook post and hit resize, and then that's immediately going to resize the page for me and show me what exactly it needs to do for a Facebook post. So next up is the Styles tab, and this is especially helpful and a great feature. So let's say you have your image here and you're not really feeling the colors of it and you want to do something different and don't have colors or fonts picked out. That is where the Styles tab will come in handy for you. So on the Styles tab, all you have to do is select whatever style you are feeling and it'll instantly create a new design based off of whatever it is that you already had. So if you have images or a logo that you're trying to revamp, this is a great way, especially if you want to rebrand and if you keep selecting it over and over. So let's say you like the color combo but you think like it's not working out, you can just continue to select it until it creates something that you like. And this is especially helpful for newer designers, so definitely utilize that Styles tab. Next feature is being able to filter when you are using the Elements tab. Let's say we have this pink graphic that we want to use and we want things that are similar to it. How would we find that? So let's say we want a scrunchie of some sort. So we type that in, but we only want pink scrunchies to show up because that is the color scheme we are going through. So we're gonna hit this little filter icon up here and we're gonna select pink and hit apply filters, and it is going to show us very quickly the different pink scrunchie options that they have available. This will really save you time, especially if you know exactly what you're looking for on Canva, instead of having to sit there and physically scroll through all of the scrunchie options. Like, it just takes way less time if you are able to go ahead and filter it out. And you can filter through colors. There's different ways to filter it here. So square, vertical, horizontal, if you want it animated, cut out. Also, if you are using the free Canva version, like I said, I recommend the Pro, and it's linked down below. That rhymed. But you are able to filter through free and pro graphics, so that's a really cool thing to keep in mind. The next thing is utilizing the Folders tab. So folders are really great, especially if you are creating something that you want to be editing a lot. So here I'm just going to create another page, and then here we have a sign up form with a guest list, and I want to add this to my folder. So I would go over to the Folders tab, and then here we are able to create a new folder. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name this Planners because that is what we are creating, and create folder. Then on your home page, you will be able to access this folder under your projects, and then you will see the folder here, Planners, and then you can add different designs or create designs in there so that when you're really quickly trying to create something, it's already, boom, ready for you to edit. Next thing are type tools. What you would do is select your page, and then once the page is selected, there are 3 different type tools that I'm going to share with you today. So the first one is typing an L, which will create a line for you, and then you are able to go up here and you can select the thickness of the line, if you want a dotted line, and even if you want to add an arrow at the end of your line. The next type tool is by selecting the page and hitting a C, it'll create a circle for you. So you can edit the circle, change the color of the circle, and these are just really quick tools to use anytime you want to add a certain element and not have to search for it. The next one is by selecting the page and hitting R. This will create a rectangle, square, I guess you could put it, and you can kind of move it around and select it just as I was showing you before. Our 10th feature tip is going to be how to create a QR code on Canva. These can be really helpful on social medias if you're printing things out for your business, if you're creating business cards for other people, or whatever it is you're doing. QR codes are great and can be used pretty much anywhere, as we've seen after 2020. So over on the left side here, we would select the QR option on the tab, and then we would go to whatever website we want to use for the QR code. So for this example, I'm just going to be using my YouTube channel. So I'm going to go ahead and get my link here. I'm gonna go back to Canva and generate my QR code, and boom. So now I'll show you that this QR code works by using my phone, and I'm going to go ahead and select that, and boom, it's going to open my YouTube channel. So now for the fun part of the video, I'm going to be going over the 10 design tips that I wish I knew when I started Canva. The first one is text effects. I will show you how to really make the text your own and be really creative with it. If you want to create text really easily, just select the page and hit T, and it'll bring up a text box for you. I should have included that in the last clip. So then I'm going to type ecom because we love that example. So once you actually select the text that you just typed in, you're gonna go up to effects, and then this box will pop up with all of the different effects you can use. One of the most popular is shadow. You can change the direction of the shadow, you can offset it as much as you want, and even the transparency. So it's really cool to mess around with. And when you change in the colors too, like you can really start to create something with such a basic typed up word. And even when you change the fonts, this will change with it, which is really great and versatile when doing this. You're able to do lifts, you can do a neon, which is one of my personal favorites. It's so easy to create all of these different effects using Canva. It is to use on different apps, or just for print on demand in general. You can do so much with the text options here. Definitely play around with this and get familiar with it, and then once you're designing, you'll become a pro at it and it'll be so easy to use. The next design tip does piggyback off of the first, text effects, but what I'm going to show you is really cool and a really great way to add an element to a design. So I'm just going to type a word here, and then I'm going to make it a little bigger, and then select it, go to effects, and we're gonna go to the curve option. Now I like to curve the text at about a 50-degree angle. Then I'm gonna go ahead and duplicate this, and then we're gonna go to effects, and we're gonna change it to 50 in the other direction. As you can see, that is creating a beautiful wave text that we can do, and we can select them all, make it smaller. We can even duplicate it by hitting this duplicate button and continue the wave. So that's a really cool tip and something that I see a lot in graphic designing, especially with print on demand. Next up is something I use all the time with print on demand designs, and that is using text frames. So what I'm gonna do over here in my elements tab on the left is I'm gonna scroll down to the frame section, and then in frames, I'm going to search letter. And then all of the letters are going to pop up so we can spell something out. So I'm just gonna type out yes, and here we go. So once you have everything aligned, then I'm gonna go back to my elements and I'm going to search up whatever background I want to do this for. So if I wanna make glitter, I'm gonna type in glitter. Then you simply just select the image and drag it right over into the letter. And just like that, we have a beautiful glittered letter situation going on, and obviously you can move it around, but this is great with print on demand because it does print very well and you're able to see that glitter text. You can do it with so many different things, and in the next tip I'm going to show you my personal favorite way to use the text masking. Going off of the last text masking, I'm going to show you how to do the gold foil or gold letters. This is something that people use all the time with rose gold. I see it a lot on Etsy and it does really well. So going back on the last tip, we would use our text letters and then we would go over and search for gold. Now, obviously a lot of different gold things will come up, so we want more like a rustic look, and we would simply just add this onto the letters like we did before. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, you could duplicate this, change the color to black or whatever shadow you want, send this to back, and then you have a shadow that you can work with. So just like that, we elevated the text so much more by having something so simple on there, even though it was a text frame. Next up, I'm going to show you how to make a shadow on an image. So we're going to select the image and go up to edit image, and we're going to scroll down, and there is a lot of different things that you can use in this that are really helpful, but like I said, we're doing a shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, and then I'm going to select one of these duotones, and essentially it's going to create a duotone of the image that we just made, and then we're able to send this to the back and kind of mess around with it, and then we are able to make that awesome, cool looking neon background to it, which is really cool, especially if you're making like a thumbnail or a different design. And you can really do this in so many different ways. You can change the colors of the duotone. There's a lot of different options and ways to do it. So I'm going to show you how to do an image glow. Let's say we are selecting the image that we used from before, and we are going to select it, then hit edit image, and then once options are going to pop up, and we're going to scroll down and we're going to click see all, and I'm going to select glow filter, and then here you're able to control the blur. We're able to control the color of that glow that we want on the actual image, and you can really play around with this and get it to the way that you want it to look. Next up are text templates, and this is going to be really good if you want to do a text-based design but you're not really sure which fonts go together. So what you're going to do is you're going to go over to the bar here and hit styles like we used earlier, and we're going to scroll over to fonts, and then here it's going to put together different types of fonts that go together and look nice. And this is super helpful, like I said, for text-based designs, because if you take something from inspiration off of Pinterest, if you want maybe the same look that you see but you're not sure how to create it or what fonts they were using, this is super helpful. Next up is a way that you are able to import fonts using different websites like you would be able to do on Adobe, but you're actually able to do this on Canva too. Let's say you're not finding the font that you need, or you need a specific font for your brand, you are able to upload it onto Canva, and I'm going to show you how. So if you don't already have your font, but you do want to check out some of the cool different fonts that aren't already offered on Canva, I recommend going to the website dafont.com. Something to keep in mind is all the fonts on Dafont are all made by independent artists, and while they are free to download, most of them do say that they are free free for personal use only. So if you were using this for a logo, there is no problem with that. But if you are using some of these fonts to use to sell on print on demand items, please be sure to make sure that the font says it is free for all use. All you would do is download that font onto our computer or the device we are using. And I'm going to show you here. So open in downloads. So I have just downloaded that. Then I'm going to go back into Canva, and I'm going to click on my text, go to fonts, and there is a lovely option here to upload a font. Under downloads, we are going to download that font, Bobby Duke. But that is how you are able to upload that font and start using it in your own way on Canva. So now, as you can see, we are able to go over here and select the font that we literally just uploaded from DaFont. Especially to on DaFont, you can search up, like if it's a time of year, so if it's Halloween, they have a ton of Halloween fonts for you to use. So it's something super cool and a really good tip. Next up is how to make a gradient background. While this may seem simple, it is something that a lot of people don't know you can do on Canva, so I'm gonna show you how. So over in the elements section, we are going to go to the search bar and search for a gradient. And lots of gradient backgrounds will come up, so you're able to upload that into the file that you're using, get it however you want it, and boom, you have a gradient. And if you have something that is, you want to add to it or just make the design different. And also what's cool about this is you can change the transparency. So if you want to overlay the gradient on top of something. Also, what you can do if you want the gradient going the other way is simply flip it using the flip tool to horizontal or vertical, so you can really move around the gradient in whatever way you please. Next up is text animation, and this is especially key because we're using everything video to market nowadays. So once you have whatever you would like to make animated, you are going to select it and click the three dots and hit animate. Now it'll give you lots of options here that you are able to animate it with. So see, for example, here, there's so many different things you can do, and you can even edit it like this. I mean, super cool, and it's super easy to do without having to use like quick notes or something on the Mac if you're on a Mac. So definitely check this out. And something also to keep in mind is that you do need to download this as an MVP video. It does need to be a video download. If you download this as a PNG or JPEG file, it won't move. So now moving on to the 10 best element searches when designing in Canva. I feel like this might be the most helpful for people who are already familiar with Canva. And these are basically just things that you should search for when you're trying to create designs. Elements has so many different things to offer, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, and you may want to create a certain type of design but not know how to get the right graphic. So I'm just going to go through. I have a little list here of my favorite terms to search for. So the first one is blob. So I will show you what it looks like when you type this into your element. You'll get all these different kinds of blobs. So if you're doing something abstract, and you can change the color of these. So that is super cool because obviously there's so much you can do with the different abstract designs and so much that comes up within that. The next one is paint stroke. Now, paint strokes are absolutely wonderful when you're trying to make text stand out. So I always like to use this one personally. I've used it on my video editing before, and see, like, they have more of realistic ones. They have more of the graphic looking ones. There's so many. They even have gold ones. So I love a good paint stroke. I think there's so many different things you could do with it. Next up is line art or line drawing. So similar things will come up when you type this in, but however, like, how beautiful are these types of graphics? Like, I just find these so amazing, and I love it. I love a good line art, and I honestly think this one's my favorite because there's just so many to use and create. And pro tip here is where it says magic recommendations, if you select see all, you will see all of them by that specific artist. So if you're trying to, get them all to look similar, like these two, they have the same line art and stuff because it's the same artist. So that's really great when you're trying to do a certain design or logo and just kind of keep it all in sync using the same artist. But line art, Next up is arrows. So I'm always looking for a good arrow. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I always use arrows in my story. I feel like they just draw the eye. So if that is something you want to implement, definitely search arrow. They do have some that move if you're going to be making a moving graphic, but they do have, you know, just the normal arrows and fun arrows here that you can just change the colors of, which is great and really easy to use. Next up, we did talk about a little bit before, but those are frames. Now, frames, they have a ton. They have, you know, photo frames, there's different swooshes, different CD looking ones, so many to choose from, diamonds, and you can even use these when it comes to mock-ups as well. And there's those letters and number frames too, but see how many of these there are, like location symbols, 3D, there's really a ton, so you'll definitely have to check this out, but I'll just give you an example of how I would use these. So, you know, if we want like a gold circle, we can throw like we just made a gold CD, we just made a pink glitter stroke, so you can even make your own glitter stroke if you want to add, you know, film looking stuff. Next up is watercolor, and watercolor art sells phenomenal on Etsy. I don't know what it is, but when I first got started in print on demand, this was something that I utilized a lot because I love watercolor and it sells really well. What I was doing is I was taking inspiration from other designs on Etsy, but implementing watercolor, and they were selling. So this is something really cool to check out. Next up is aesthetic. Now, when you type in aesthetic, similar things will come up to line art and different blob things, but there's also a lot of other cool different things that you can implement and change the colors of. So if I were to just take this design I'm making right now and really make it my own, you know, I could just totally change the vibe of this in like 2 seconds here. And then we'll switch this and see, like, I'm changing the vibe, but I'm still using that same graphic, and it just works so well in my opinion. And there's just different like aesthetics things you can use, and so much, like if you wanted to create a cool background. So aesthetics is where it's at. Next up is neon. So neon is a great search, especially if you're doing something flashy, if you have more of a retro vibe going on. There's so many different neon graphics and they all look really, really good and high quality in my opinion. So these are cool. And if you are using them for print on demand, definitely do a test order to see how it comes out in a print with that glowing effect. But this is a really cool search to do, especially if you're looking for that certain kind of vibe. Up is brutalist. Now this reminds me of Small World. I'm like a total Disney fanatic, which is so funny if you didn't know that about me. But this just gives me overall Small World vibes. So if you know, you know. If you don't, look it up, because this literally gives Small World vibes. But like, how cute are these graphics? And I would have never known to look up this term. So once I found it, I was just so excited because there's so many different things that you can do with graphics like this, because I feel like not a lot of people use graphics like this. So the last keyword is going to be minimalist or minimal. So obviously, like it sounds, it's going to be more of the minimal graphics that you will find, but this is a very popular aesthetic and it goes kind of along with the line art, but super simple, super cool graphics just to add or create a design off of. And like I said, all of these that I'm mentioning should be super helpful to you, because a lot of the times I didn't know what to search for. So we'll leave them all listed in the description below so that you can go ahead and search them for yourself or take it in your note section. But please check out all of these different keywords on Canva, because there are so many elements and graphics and designs that people miss out on because they don't know the proper thing to search. Those were all of my Canva tips, all 30 included. But if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I have a surprise for you, because I want to share one of the top things on Canva that most people don't know about and I use every single day for my print on demand stores, and that is smart mockups. This is a free way to get mockups on your store using Canva. Let's say this is my design here. I'm going to show you how to put it on a mockup. So first, I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to select the image and hit edit image, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says smart mockups. Now you will see a bunch of mockups coming up, which is absolutely incredible, especially if you are selling books, business cards. I mean, look at all of this stuff that you can put this on in one click. So this is a perfect way to get mockups for your digital downloads for literally free if you have your Canva membership. So I have it selected, and then I'm going to select the mockup that I want, and it is going to create a mockup for me. Now, obviously it's not fitting there, so I would have to mess around with it, which is really simple to do. But as you can see, it's a super easy way to make your mock-up photo. And then all you have to do is save this to your computer and upload it to your website or your Etsy shop, and boom, you have a beautiful, high quality mock-up photo. And that is all I have for today. So I really hope that one of these tips is helpful to you. If they were, please let me know which one you're going to be implementing or what was helpful in this video, and be sure to leave a like on the video if it did help you out. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any videos that I post in the future about passive income, e-commerce tips, and so much more.